Hey, Boaz here with Next Pittsburgh. I'm here in McKees Rocket 5 Generation Bakers. This is where they make the famous Jenny Lee swirl bread. We're going behind the scenes today on Yinzer Backstage Pass. All right, I'm with Scott here, the president of 5 Generation Bakers, and that's literal. Your family's been baking for that long.
At least, yeah. So my great great grandfather emigrated to the United States in the 1860s and opened up his bakery in 1875. There is oral family history that he learned from his uncle in Bad Orb, Germany. So we might have been baking longer, but 5 generations in the United States.
And we have beard nets on because we're about to go through that door where Jenny Lee swirl bread is currently being made.
Right? Yeah, this is where all the magic happens. So I'm glad you're here, Boaz. Let's go. Let's go see what we got baking.
And so to get a sense of the volume that goes on here, like in a day, how many loaves of bread are you making?
So we bake 5.5 days a week on 2 shifts. We've got both day turn and night turn. We're producing about 25 batches per shift. So almost 50 batches every single day. We are small batch, but a batch makes 384 loaves.
Feels like this job is a workout. You just got to lift giant bags of flour all day.
Oh yeah. When I was learning this job, flour sacks were actually 100-pound sacks. They're 50 pounds now. So this will mix for about 10 minutes. It's a spiral mixer, so the bowl is going to spin as well as the paddles inside. It will develop that dough. We run it at low speed for about 2 minutes. That allows all the dry ingredients to be incorporated. If we turn it on full speed right off the bat, you'd see a big cloud of flour dust.
We've been to some factories before, and I've seen big mixers, but I've never seen one where the bottom spins.
Right. You know,
This used to be a carnival ride, and you just sort of rejiggered it?
yeah, I think this is going to be the basis for the Ferris wheel on the bridge.
Yeah.
So once it's fully mixed, we allow about 30 minutes of fermentation. Again, that's that yeast activity. Once the dough is ready to go, our machine operator, Dwayne here, he fills the hopper. As Dwayne is loading, that extruder now pumps the dough out onto the production table. It's coming out, it's about 2 inches thick there. And you can notice too that on the sides, we're cutting off the excess. That excess dough will get reworked. Dwayne will take that and put it right back into the hopper, and it'll get mixed right back in with this dough. This blanket of dough is now 2 strips of dough. This is how we get our cinnamon dust into the middle. This is powdered sugar, granulated sugar, and cinnamon, and it's dusting it on top of the dough.
Right.
And everyone's like, how do you get the swirl in it? So this is our
There
secret
it's being
right here.
rolled. Wow.
This is the secret to getting the swirl in the dough.
And it is so, I mean, this whole place smells like cinnamon, but
Right.
this space exactly is like really, I mean, pretty serious cinnamon. Do you even smell that anymore?
I am completely nose blind to it. Yeah. Now the guillotine cuts it to the length that we want. And you can see each about a 10-inch piece coming through. Everything is scaled. If it needs a little extra dough, we pinch a piece of dough and put it in there. If it's too heavy, we'll take a little piece off. Then the bread is loaded into the pans. The tops go onto the rack and into the proof box on their way to the oven. In the wintertime, everybody wants to work in the oven department. It's nice and warm here. In the summertime, nobody wants this job. But yeah, we can bake at any given time. We could have 8 racks of bread in the oven or 4 batches. So about almost 1,500 loaves of bread we could be baking at any given time. This pan is really what gives us our unique shape. It's called a Pullman pan in the industry. A traditional loaf pan wouldn't have 2 pieces. It would be just the pan that you put the bread into. A Pullman pan has a top and a bottom.
So it's like a mold.
Yes, exactly like a mold. I think this is also the secret why there's not a lot of commercial bakers doing this. This pan right here is about $150. I've got over 4,000 of them, so we've
It's a
got
big investment.
We've got quite an investment in this.
Well, it's crazy to see the scale of all your ingredients. Like they're just boxes and boxes of raisins.
Right, yeah. So we built the warehouse right in the middle of the bakery here so that the materials are in close proximity to when you need them. We get cinnamon in about every other week. We usually bring in a full pallet of cinnamon, and we use about $600-700 pounds of cinnamon a week, and so we'll go through that pallet pretty quickly. When we make a batch of cinnamon raisin bread, at 400 and some pound dough is almost 100 pounds of raisins alone. So that's why you see so many.
A quarter of the weight is raisin.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean
we're not skimping on the raisins.
Are not. No, we want to make these breads as good as what you remember from grandma's kitchen.
And so, did you grow up in a bakery also? Were you like helping out as a kid?
I did, yeah. So, my first job was mopping floors. I think it was 10, 12 years old. My dad would take me into the bakery. When I was 16, I was allowed to start working in production. I learned how to make cookies and cook pie filling and those type of things. My dad taught me right. First thing is how to have a clean bakery, and next how to make good products. Literally, we are melting our butter blend over an open flame. It's then put into this little vat here where you can see Marco grabbing 4 or 5 loaves of bread at a time.
And then they're just dunking them in there.
Fully bathing them. Yep, completely dunked.
And so when did this bread come out of the oven? Just earlier this morning?
A couple hours ago. It usually takes about 2 hours for the bread to fully cool. That way we get the best adhesion of the cinnamon sugar on the outside.
Oh, so the cinnamon, that's happening immediately after.
Absolutely, right. You can see it on the other side of the butter here. This is the process of how we get the cinnamon sugar on the outside. It's just like playing in a big sandbox here.
Yeah, it does look like a sandbox, and it's just the 2 ingredients are cinnamon and sugar here.
Exactly, right. Yeah, I always say this job's no day at the beach.
Yeah.
and if you notice what she did right there, I always tell everybody, when they're new, you want to make sure you dip the ends. The ends is everybody's favorite part, so you really got to get those ends covered with the cinnamon sugar. So
it's wild. It's such a big operation, but there's still so many things done by hand.
Absolutely, right. Yeah, it's our dedication to doing it the right way.
Okay, so now they're going onto some sort of conveyor belt.
Absolutely. So this is the slicer bagger system here. The finished coated loaves are going to pass through these blades, then go into the bag.
God, it's mesmerizing to watch. Oh, wow. So there's like a little blower that blows the bag open.
Right.
And then
exactly.
Oh, wow. How cool. And then where does the bag get closed?
So right here, this is the quick lock system. These little closure tabs. The batch number from
They come on like a giant ribbon of those tiny little plastic tabs.
So, the plastic tabs on the row up here. This blue ribbon is what prints the batch code on there. So this was the 26th batch on the 112th day of 2025. But then through metal detection to the accumulation table, and then we're putting these into boxes, and then that's how it will be shipped to our customers.
So this is the loading dock.
Right. Yeah. So you can see this is where trucks will back up. We're loading this truck out. This is going to be a full load of bread going to one of our partners. 24,024 loaves of bread fit on the back of this truck. People always say, too, how do you get your breads to Chicago or New York where they're sold fresh? We use frozen distribution. So when our breads are completely produced, they get placed into this freezer. I'm going to have you step in here, Boaz, and I call this the Chicago in January room.
Oh, wow. Gosh. It is. Oh, gosh. It's like hard to breathe in here. It's so cold. And so there are just like tens of thousands of loaves of bread in here?
Yes, yeah. We can hold over 100 pallets of finished product in here. We don't want to hold product. Everything that you see in here is going to be turned around and moved out within the week.
Well, Scott, thank you so much for the wonderful tour. And if folks want to pick up, a loaf of your famous bread, where can they find it locally?
So we're in nearly every Shop and Save, most Giant Eagles and market districts, and places like T-Bones, Mancini's, Silver Star Deli. You can find us all over Pittsburgh.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely, Boaz. Thanks for coming in.